Hey everyone, Mariah here, and welcome to another video. That's right, we're coming from the kitchen. We've got fish in the oven. We have 17 minutes before we need to shut that oven off. So we're gonna make this fast. This is another vlog video. I know people are like, dude, another vlog video? Is there ever gonna be another multi-boxing video? A video with some multi-boxing footage in it. Excuse me. I'm so excited. And to that I say, no, we're stopping them all together. This is going to turn into a vlog and podcast only channel. We're going to monetize the Multiboxology name. And that's all I have to say about that. No, we do have other Dude, have you been watching the vlog videos? Because the setup was down. Okay? Calm them tits, man. The setup was down. The setup is now up. We got plenty of stuff to talk about, but I only have 16 more minutes to do it. So let's talk about this. First of all, I really have to say this. I'm going to be talking fast, hopefully, throughout this. And if I slur my speech at any point in time, it's not because I have some sort of brain disease or anything like that. It's because I have a crown on the back tooth over here. And yesterday, Friday, middle of the day, it decided that, hey, we're just going to give up and crack. And so part of it's cracked off. And luckily enough, there's plenty still left on there to where the nerve is covered. Otherwise, we would not be in the mood that we are in right now. But because of that, because it is cracked and because, the crown obviously has to emulate a very hard enamel tooth, well, it's very sharp now. And unfortunately, my tongue continues to push up against the side of the sharp thing. So I may end up slurring my speech sometimes. So, yeah. So sorry if I slur. And that is actually, clearly couldn't see a dentist yesterday because they're all closed on Friday. And that means they're closed on Saturday and Sunday as well. I am in the wrong line of work. I should be in dentistry where I get 4-day work weeks and 3-day weekends because, man, tell me about it. So Monday, if I can even get in somewhere, I don't have like a dentist that I go to. So if I can even get in somewhere, my mouth is going to be all swollen and sore next week, so there probably won't be much from me. It would just be another vlog video anyway, and people are tired of watching this shit. So anyway, sorry if I slur. Anyway, computer's done. For now. It's always for now. It's always an ongoing fight or battle or struggle or whatever you want to call it with upgrades and water cooling and whatnot. It's up. It's running. Everything's looking good. Again, just as a refresher for what is in there, it is that's another X99 setup. It's an MSI Godlike motherboard. That's a carbon version of it. Under the hood is a 5960X. That's an 8-core, 16-thread powerhouse, which is currently not overclocked, but will be hopefully in the future. We did just get this thing up and running a week ago or so. I don't have the Kingpin classified, the 980 Ti Kingpin classified that I mentioned in the prior vlog about I was RMAing it. I did RMA it. It was successfully RMA'd. They sent me back a refurbished one, whatever, and I would have needed another water block with it, so I didn't put that back in the system. I figured I had a bunch of Titan X's just kind of lying around, and before I sell them, I could just keep one and slap a water block back on it and put it in the system. So that's a Titan X that's sitting in that system now. And all it's doing is do web browsers, IRC, Discord, audio recording on the BBM. BBM is back, that's right. I'm just as excited as you are, trust me. So yeah, that's a pretty powerful system, 32 gigs of G-Skill RAM. I had to buy the 33 megahertz RAM. I had to because I wanted black and white to match the rest of the color scheme. And that's all they had in stock was the 33 megahertz one. It's not clocked at that right now because it's another one of those you need to change the base clock in order to get to 33. My motherboard doesn't natively support 33. It only supports 3200 max. So if I feel like fiddling around with all that bullshit, maybe not. I don't even know if I'll touch the RAM beyond stock speed. So that's that. It's in front. I've got the hard tubing with the new upgraded sensor. That's a Thermaltake Pacific sensor. Very sexy. I almost didn't go that route. I bought the sensor several weeks ago thinking I was going to go this route. But then when it finally came time to work it and to work with the routing and everything and decide how it was all going to be routed, because there's a slight change from last time, I was going to go with a different route of tubing, and that was going to take away that crossbar in the front. So I almost went with the other route, and I was like, you know what? This is going to set me back a day, but let's do the hard tubing right up front with the Pacific temperature sensor. I think that's going to be really cool. So that is the route that I went. So the thing that changed now in the system is, if you watch the prior setup video where I show off my two systems, I talk about how I had 4 5 terabyte hard drives in RAID 10 for a total of just over 9 terabytes of RAID storage, yada, yada, yada. When moving that over, I took that out because it was where it was in this case, it's completely shoehorned in there, man. And when I first disassembled this thing, I was like, what a pain in the ass getting that out of there. You just have to remove so much shit from that section. You have to pull everything out from that bottom section there. And I was just, this is not fun. I don't want to have to redo this ever again. So I didn't put the hard drives back with the Silent Star Quad and shoehorn it back into its place. What I did was I wanted to get a NAS. So I did get a NAS. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I did, when I tried to recover the RAID 10 data, I couldn't. The new motherboard detected the drives a little bit differently. And the tool I had used in the past called Test Disk, a really nice tool, which has recovered file structure data for me in the past. It was not, this was going to take me a very long time. The problem is I also had Windows accidentally format some shit onto it. So it was like, oh man. So things were changed at that point and everything. I was like, oh no. So I lost, there's a good bit I didn't lose, but all the stuff I did lose was everything that happened in the prior year, right? So I had lost hundreds of gigabytes worth of video files and footage from just all my videos in the last year that are on YouTube still, but I don't have them anymore. I don't have the final copies. That includes, and that's not really a big deal because that stuff is on YouTube, and as it ages, it will need to be replaced regardless, even when ISBoxer 2 comes out. Whenever that is, there will need to be new videos made for that as well. So all the old ISBoxer 1 stuff will eventually age out and disappear. So, and I don't have any more details on that. I'm not in charge of ISBoxer 2. Go bother Lax. Don't ask me when it's coming out. I have no idea. Okay. So anyway, the stuff I really regret losing is I have a side project that I really wanted to do, and it was for a game called Warsong on the Sega Genesis. I'll throw up some old footage that I've got that I plan on using. But yeah, I mean, look at this stuff. This is old school stuff, man. And it's a side project I've wanted to do for probably about 10 years now. Honest to God. This game is just, anyone who's played an older game when you grew up and stuff, games that they were like cult classics and they never got a lot of attention, those certain types of games that just, this game right here, Warsong, is just an all-time favorite for me. I can go back and play this game any point in time, and it's still so much fun. It's still so much fun. So this is a game, and it's a game that that I feel doesn't get enough recognition on YouTube, and I kind of want to immortalize it on YouTube in a high definition format. So even though it is 16-bit Sega Genesis, I get it. But I made good progress on this side project, and I fucking lost all of it. All the progress I made. I still have my base progress that I made over the last several years, but I made good progress in the last year, and I have to re-record it all. It's not a huge deal. It's able to be done. It's just that it's like 12 hours of just recording and then how many ever endless days of editing that footage together. So that's my biggest regret, I guess. What saddens me the most about losing the data on the setup. So anyway, I got a NAS, right? So moving along. How much time we got left, people? 9 minutes-ish. 8 minutes. It just turned. Okay, 8 minutes. So 8 minutes. A NAS. I got a NAS. That's how you say it, right? It's not Nas because Nas is the rapper. So you get it's NAS, right? With the nasally A. NAS. I got a NAS. Anyway, it's a Synology DS918 Plus. Not bottom of the barrel. Definitely not top of the line. But for Synology's 4-bay offerings, which is pretty, that's like mid-grade stuff. 4-bay is really what most people get. 2 to 4-bay. 2 bays, I would say more people would lean towards 4 bays. If you're actually looking at external network attached storage like this, 4-bay is really a good place to be especially from my research as well, because you go beyond 4 and you start paying a lot more money. But 4-bay being right in the middle there, which is pretty much what most people use. It is the top of the line that Synology does offer, but by all means, I believe QNAP has some better 4-bay offerings, and I think there are still some other 4-bay offerings that are better. So not bottom of the barrel, not top of the line. If something happens and I need to resell this stuff, I never really like buying bottom of the barrel, whether it's placebo or not. I always feel like I get better components and maybe a little bit more time and effort has gone into the software and whatever else, the hardware and just the look of the thing overall, whatever it is, whether it's a NAS or whether it's something else that you're buying. Right. And I always feel like there's more time and effort that goes into those not bottom of the barrel pieces, because they're not. Bottom of the barrel is like we're trying to save as much money as you can, so we're cutting everything out of it. So you get the bottom of the barrel stuff. But plus, if I need to resell this, it's not bottom of the barrel, and I could probably get a better price for it then, because it is a good NAS. So anyway, yeah, we put the hard drives in there. We're not doing RAID 10 anymore. I did RAID 10 on the old system simply because I wanted the write speed on a RAID setup, because I was writing directly to it from the capture card. Sorry, my tooth is getting my tongue and tooth are getting a little overworked here. Anyway, yeah, so I was writing directly to it with 4K footage, and I wanted to make sure I had enough write speed so that I wasn't going to be dropping frames or getting stuttery footage in the final video that I was going to need to edit. So I wanted the write speed there. Now, since it's external, and I'm using RAID 5 instead, I'm limited, because it's external, to the gigabit LAN that is attached to it. So I'm limited to about just over 100 megabytes a second-ish in there. And I don't know. I haven't tried to write to it directly from the capture card just yet. I haven't tried that. So I don't know if it's fast enough, but it doesn't really matter, because I do have I now have freed up a 500 gigabyte SSD, which used to be the system drive in this second system. I freed that up, so now it's my new recording drive on the system. So I can just record to the SSD, not worry about the I/O being the bottleneck, and then just transfer to the RAID 5 setup afterwards. So not a big deal. Be right back. I need to start some potatoes. I'll be right back. All right, folks, when that beeps, it's time's up. So the NAS is fun. The NAS is great. And it just needed something more universal and flexible, something that wasn't going to be Intel chipset dependent. And those chipset RAIDs aren't exactly chipset dependent. You can move them from chipset to chipset. But if anything happened at some point in time, maybe I'm going to go AMD, right? Maybe my next system is going to be a fucking 32-core, 64-thread AMD Ultra Threadripper beast. You never know. And then at that point, I can't carry over the RAID, right? So I did want a NAS last year when I put everything together, but I thought, you know what, let's just skip the NAS and we'll just put it on the system. So now I finally got the NAS, and it is what it is. So speaking of the water cooling setup and everything, all of that, I do have a second channel. Surprise, surprise. I have had a second channel for longer than this one. It's not abandoned, but it's just heavily neglected, just because the multiboxing stuff, all the videos for the multiboxing stuff, they really take up all my time. So there's not really any time for side projects. Speaking of the side project stuff that I just mentioned a moment ago. So I did just release a video on my secondary channel where I show how to leak test a water loop with air pressure and PSI instead of just the old traditional way of putting water in it and waiting for it to leak. Because as I say in that video, that's a bunch of bullshit. There's got to be a better way. So that is on the Mirai Presents channel. I almost didn't release it because I was like, I don't want to release it. Maybe I don't want to release it, but I uploaded it. I was like, fuck it. Let's just release it. We'll let the internet hate me if they want to hate me, if they want to talk shit. So it is what it is. Watch it if you want. Don't watch it if you don't want to. It's fine. Whatever. That is a channel that's been around for longer than this one, as I said. This Multiboxology one was actually opened up the 4th of July, 2011. So it's over about 6.5 years old at this point. And that channel's even older. I don't know when I opened that channel up, but that channel had original multiboxing content on it, which is probably why I have any subscribers over there whatsoever. Then I made this one to make it separate. So side projects and anything on the back burner in my brain, anything wild that comes out will be put over there if I ever get around to that stuff. But yeah. What else? So I guess real fast, we've got the next video in line is the Final Fantasy XIV Quick Setup Wizard video. That is what I've been working on. It is much more detailed than any other Quick Setup Wizard video up to this point. So it makes it much longer. So just to kind of put it into perspective, what I'm estimating right now is I think we're at about the 13.5-minute mark before we even get in game. There's so much that I explain, and I really feel that this detail is needed, especially in Final Fantasy XIV. But even when I look back at older Quick Setup Wizard videos, Rift and Diablo 3 and World of Warcraft, I feel like there's other little nuances, smaller details that I probably should have talked about and mentioned just even briefly to just, instead of just saying skip it, I'm not a big fan when I watch tutorials online of people saying, oh, just trust me, bro, don't touch this or put in this value because just trust me. There has to be some level of just trust me because I can't possibly cover every single, tangent that I could go off on in ISBoxer, seeing as it's a very complex program and you can get lost in it very easily. So at some point in time, there is a just trust me bro moment that has to happen. And I do mention that in the Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I was like, all right, just trust me. We're going to set this. Just trust me. You'll see how this works in game, right? So that's what's next on the list. And then, of course, the post-wizard setup. I always feel like I have to make 2 videos with these quick setup wizard videos. I kind of wish I had made more of a generic post-wizard setup video that I could just continue to reference to, kind of like my MMO gameplay series that I continue to reference to, because while it's old, it's still very relevant in its tips and its tricks, and where I talk about latency and how it works and how it visually, changes what you're seeing, even though it's just visual, stuff like that people tend to get caught up on when they begin multiboxing. So I think that's it, man. We got about a minute left to talk. We can talk. I never really know how to end these things anyway, so I always just tell everyone I love them, keep on keeping on, and Mariah out. So, So yeah, after I've recovered from the dentist and I get all that done, and I'm bankrupt after I have to pay for dental work, then I can get back to making videos. And as always, man, I've got plenty of plans. Every time I come up with a video, I just write more shit down. I've got plenty of videos to make, stuff to make, just endless stuff to make. And I want to get back with Supernova, of course, and do 2+3s, and do Mythics before Legion's over. I know everyone hates me because of that, but anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. I got to go take care of dinner. I got to go eat dinner, and then we got to, I'll show you a picture of dinner as well. As we close this out, I'll show you a picture of the dinner I had. It'll be delicious. Some of it's being reheated. Some of it's being cooked fresh. But that's that. Here's my delicious dinner. I hope I make all of you jealous with my delicious dinner. It will be delicious. Definitely be delicious, but I will have to chew on one side of my mouth very slowly. It's going to take me forever to eat this. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video.